Okay, you're on?
Yep.
The footage you're currently watching is the result of a lackluster attempt to reenact events that took place on a near daily basis for the better half of a year in 2024.
I used to sneak away from home with under the guise of going to get coffee and drive my car to the liquor store and buy those little single shots of cheap vodka, fire them back in the car. I was just so overwhelmed with anxiety and this consistent sense of entrapment. Like I couldn't breathe, the world closing in on around me. For those of you who don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I began hitchhiking around the United States.
I voted for Donald Trump.
I live in my car.
It's socialism.
Everyone's f***ing insane these days.
You know, so far when I've talked about my reasons for why I'm doing this project, they've all been fairly noble. But there are other reasons why I'm doing this, reasons that come from a much darker place. I decided I think maybe it's time to talk about that. So that's what I'm going to try to do today by focusing in on one particular day of hitchhiking from over the last few weeks.
I woke up that morning in Ellensburg in central Washington and started hitchhiking south towards Oregon.
It's beautiful here, but it's going to be kind of tricky to get a ride.
It wasn't. About 10 minutes later, a young couple pulled over for me who had just finished hiking the Pacific Crest Trail.
I'm actually starting at a new college in the fall.
You guys just did the PCT?
Yeah, we completed on August 1st.
They explained that out there on the trail, there's not much room for anxiety.
People do it to escape.
Life takes place in the present, one step at a time, between sunrise and sunset.
I don't even know if I'm going the right way.
I wish I had a good method. Like
Yeah.
I moved to a new town kind of outside of Seattle a couple years ago, and I made like 2 new friends. And I don't even hardly try, because like, what do you do? Like, I'm not religious, so I'm not going to go to church. So it's like bars, like, are there like meetups anymore? Men's clubs? Like, I don't know. This like, I don't know how to make new friends or like make a community. Like, I hardly even know my neighbors, and I've lived there for like 3 years.
What is your 5-year plan and what's stopping you from doing it in 6 months?
I would say fear.
Yeah.
Like a fear to try new things and take risks.
Yeah.
You know, I worked at Boeing for 11 years. I quit like 2 years during COVID. And then I thought about going back to school, and it like seemed like more work. I'd be like going for half as much money. And I decided to go back. And it's like within 6 months, I was like, fuck. So many people there are just like trying to make the money now and retire at like 55. And then go have like 20 good years of enjoyment before you really get old and can't do as much.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds like a depressing plan.
That's your backup plan, so to speak?
I mean, it's like the default plan.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. I wish I had something I believed in more doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of unexpressed wishes and dreams, I think.
There's a book by a psychiatrist and neuroscientist named Judson Brewer titled Unwinding Anxiety, in which he defines anxiety as fear plus uncertainty. There's something so tragically human about the idea of a life lived in suffering or boredom or anger because of fear of what might happen. Who could have guessed that the kryptonite for so many of us would have ended up being the ability to choose?
As a 6-year-old, I realized that government was the enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the enemy. I am freaking 100% wear my American flag hat, but I don't trust anything that they tell me or the media tells me about my neighbor. If you're my neighbor, I'm gonna go over there and knock on your front door and say, hey, your dog shit on my freaking yard, and he's, oh shoot, I'll clean it up, sorry. You know, that's usually the case that's happening. Go talk to your neighbor, shake his hand, and go have a hamburger and a beer with him, you know? My sense of community is a lot with the church, a lot with, like I said, if I have an issue, I go talk to whoever is dealing, or if I'm building something or doing something. Like I own Collins Excavation. So the biggest way you can get yourself into trouble is just not go around to everybody beforehand and say, hey, we're building this road, or we're putting in this new water line, which is feeding this, that. You'll probably actually have more pressure once it's done.
Yeah.
And they know about it beforehand. Now all of a sudden, when you go across their driveway, they're not upset, you know, because you met them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, hi, Kyle. Good morning. As long as it's out in the open right off the bat,
Yeah.
everybody is actually pretty freaking darn forgiving and will work with you.
Success! I'm in the town of Yakima.
I'm just gonna go home. Really boring. I just got off work.
You work around here?
Yeah, I work at the FedEx Express on the airport district. I don't know. Right now, life's just kind of like up in the air. I will be living in my car like this weekend, starting pretty much. My dad is selling his house. That's where I've been living.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like life events have happened, so I've just been like trying to get back on my feet. I'd like to have my own, you know, just like my own place, a little bit of land to garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She dropped me at the edge of the Yakima Native American Reservation. There's only one town in the reservation, Toppenish, and beyond that, there's nothing but rolling hills and open farms for at least 50 miles. So I decided to try my luck on the highway instead.
That was absolutely brutal. I stood there for like an hour and a half, just being stared at like I was some villain from fucking a Disney movie or some shit. Fuck that shit. I'm going south to Bend, Oregon. Smaller roads. This way I get to go through the Yakima Nation too. Me. What is this road? There has been a distinct increase in people being assholes to me in this region.
By the time I walk into the town of Toppenish, the road is starting to take its toll. My legs are tired. The late afternoon sun pounds me. Beds of caked salt are forming under my eyes from the dried sweat. I am glared at. I am gawked at. I am laughed at, pointed at. I can feel my internal compass starting to spin. Everything is cloudy. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What's the point? What's wrong with me? This project is pointless. This project is meaningless. I'm a fool. People know that I'm a fool. I'm bad at what I do. I'm bad at being. I just want to stop. I want to find some crappy motel, grab a 6-pack of beer, eat a whole pizza by myself, sitting on some slumping mattress, board a flight, go home, crawl into a hole and hide. But I don't.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Okay, I'm only going to the golf course right here.
Okay, cool.
And then I work for the Boys and Girls Club, and we have a lot of troubled kids.
Yeah.
You know, it could be mentally, it could be problems at home.
Yeah.
And they just don't have positive,
Role models?
role model.
Yeah.
Positive role model. You know, their families can't afford everything, so we do our best to, feed them 3 times a day. We built a personal bond with each kid, so each kid feels the love. They feel that they have a purpose, that they're not being left out. So that's what we do every day.
Well, It was nice to get a ride and break the streak, but we only went about a mile.
Sometimes you need to just keep walking forward. Despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite being misunderstood, despite your 401k, despite everything, I'm hitchhiking around this country because I know I have no choice but to walk towards that which will make me happy. No choice. The way back, the other direction, it's just too dangerous. It's a trap, a cage. And even if I do survive in that trap, what am I then? Just some indentured servant celebrating not being one of the slaves? What's the worst that could happen? You live, you feel, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Everything will be okay. For me, it's what's behind that's not okay. I spent too long being afraid of something that doesn't exist. So this is a reminder to myself and to anyone else who might be going through it in their own life. Always remember, you are alive, and life finds a way.
How's it going, man? Perdón. Glendale o no sé cómo se llama, pero Golden Hill. La próxima pueblito.
California, ¿sí?
Oye, sí, va, perfecto.